Yeah, and yeah, we've got a bunch of things in here. There's terrains, so if you guys are interested in creating your own maps, did you guys want to learn how to create your own maps? I think that there hasn't really been nothing out there in terms of like making and creating your own maps. Yeah? Okay. We can do that. Alright, so if you want to create your own maps, right, and you want to set it up into this additive load state, I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Alright, so basically what you would need to do is grab the FTC map base, okay, and load it up. Alright, you hit the close on that, take a seat, close menu. Alright, so here's what you're going to need to do, right? You're going to need to decide what size of map are you trying to create, okay? You want to create a 44 by 60, that's Strike Force. You want to make an incursion map, or / combat patrol map, that's 44 by 30. Or maybe you want to be the first person that makes Onslaught, because there's literally no Onslaught maps, because nobody's playing Onslaught. Okay? You just choose that, right? Because this is important, because this is going to be the size of your map when you're creating. Let's go ahead and, for an example, let's just use Incursion, obviously. Alright, we're going to hit this big red button here that says Confirm for Map Making. Alright. Let's go over here and see what we actually have. So now, the template has removed everything else off the board. And we should have a blank space here. Okay. Let me see here. Preparing the terrain. So, if you want to change this white space right here to something else, if you come onto the side over here and open up the table and terrain controls, you can actually load in a texture, if you will, right here into this URL. Or you can use a preset. There's presets here. We're going to use a preset just to kind of dumb this down, but essentially if you did have or made a custom texture, right, you would do that in like Photoshop or something. You would just like upload that to, I don't know, Imager, and then just paste that in here, and then apply it, and then save it to memory, whatever. And it will apply that to the table, the template. So let's just go with, I don't know, ice sounds cool, right? Alright, so that will apply your texture to this template here. Alright, let's try urban. I won't get into the fallacies and the specifics as to what your template should look like or whatever, but you do keep in mind that you want generally, if you're trying to do a competitive map, you definitely want to have some sort of equality. You want to have symmetry in the map, right? You don't want one side to have an advantage with the terrain that you place. Right? So now that you've got your texture that you've selected for your template, you would basically we'd come into the save load, okay? Go to Maps, Tools, and Terrain. Go to Terrain, and now you'll have access to all this. Now you don't have to use this specifically. You can use anything that you find on the workshop. Maybe you found some really cool terrain pieces or features. It doesn't have to. You don't have to load it from this, right? But this is a good starting point for people. All right. But we'll do it one more time so that people get. People absolutely understand. All right. Select your template for your map. Confirm for map making. Okay. Get your terrain feature, your terrain texture for your board. Load it up. Okay. Grab your terrain features. It doesn't have to be from here. It can be from anywhere. And load those in as you need. Don't additive load like I did. just kind of expand your selections and drag and drop them. Okay. All right, I'm gonna do it very simple. We're just gonna do quick moves. All right, let's say I'm happy with this very boring looking map with these features in here. Another thing you want to also keep in mind is to not have your terrain hanging off the edge of the board, because then that might give you some problems. All right, so now we're in a good spot. Will this broadcast be archived to review later? Sure. Maybe I'll open up the stream editor and, I don't know, make a video of it. The next step here is now that you're okay and happy with your map, you're gonna hit extract terrain. All right. It's gonna ask you. It's gonna be like, are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? Yes, we're sure. All right. All right. And now this is what you'll have. Okay. This is ready to save. Come over. Go to whatever it is that you want to save this at. We're going to just save this as a combat patrol thing. Save game. Okay. And we'll do combat patrol. Let's see. Stream test. Okay. Now if you hit save, that's good. Okay. All right. So let's go back to our template map. FTC map base, 9th edition. And now we're going to go into, we're going to select our template one more time for incursion, 44 by 30. We know that it's a 44 by 30 map. And then we're going to go into where we saved our game. Maps. We saved it over here. Stream test. Additive load. Voila. You are now a map maker. Congratulations. I look forward to seeing everyone's maps. I want to actually start some map spotlights. I want to see what kind of creative things that you guys are going for. What your imaginations are gonna be coming out of this. Like I would very much like to see what you guys have. We're gonna be doing spotlights. No problem at all. It's a very easy concept, boys. Like it's once you get into the swing of things, really what it becomes then is to really get into the philosophy of what makes a good map. What really, it doesn't have to be symmetrical, right? So symmetrical maps are for competitive gaming, right? But you can also make narratives, right? Narratives don't have to be symmetrical. They can be whatever, right? So some things that you guys want to look out for, like what makes good maps. Always be looking out for your collision maps. Make sure that you're not using big giant blocks that are going to make playing on your table a nightmare. Use sensible collision maps. Like I can't tell you how many awesome maps there are with the shittiest collision maps. Like use sensible collision maps if you can. And you can make your own custom collision maps if the stuff out there is not working for you. But that's a totally different topic. But I already showed you a quick tip on that. If you know of a good collision map that is going to work for you, just copy that over and right click the terrain feature and just swap out that collider. Yes, that's another thing. If you're trying to make like competitive maps and stuff like that, there is very much a reason why you might want to make very specific maps for very specific objectives. Like there are a lot of objectives and game types right now. It's really hard, as Pigsy is saying, to make a one size fits all. Especially once you get into like the narrative play and stuff like that. Like, you know, if you want to make your specific map for a objective, it's probably a good idea to mention that in your save file. Like, put a hyphen and then specify the mission, right? So you'd be like combat patrol. You'd be like combat patrol, the name of your map, and then hyphen, I don't know. Here's an objective.